Honey, I'm home. Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Uh-oh. Hey there, buddy. You right over here, buddy? What are you doing? What have you been reading? Let me take a look here. Whoa. Whoa, all right. Looks like you came to terms with some stuff, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Well, I go out for cigarettes and dildos for a year and some change, and I guess you got therapy. That's kind of neat. Well, at least you were still making videos and stuff, right? What do we got? What the hell's a content dollar store?
Man, I don't even know. I don't even know what it was supposed to be. I was just trying to make something. You've been gone for too long.
Okay, well, I tell you what. You look like you need to do what you love most. And what you love most, though you don't want to admit it, is anime. I know you said you probably don't want to do that anymore, but come on.
Yeah, I do.
Come on. All right, there we go.
Hey everybody, it's BaronJ. It's me. Hi, how's it going? I'm back making anime content, and this time I'm actually I'm in front of a projector screen because I figured out it's easier to do it that way, trying not to incur the wrath of the copyright devil. Also, my script is here because that's how I used to do it. So with the nature of today's intro, I decided today's probably the day I should cover Evangelion. I need to lock my shit to portrait because it keeps turning on me. All right. It's one of the shows that I decided I'd probably never cover because I tend to write in a way that assumes that the person has not seen the show that I'm covering. That's not true at this day and age. A lot of people I've still found out have not seen Eva, and especially with it going on Netflix, they're like, hey John, I saw this Evangelion show, what's it all about? And I'm like, oh boy, that's a whole ass sandwich there, isn't it? Some people I know saw it as their first anime. I can't believe I wrote that down, which I would not recommend to you, viewer who has not seen this show. It's a little dense and a little bit more intense than most shows you would find on the market. There's a lot of info that you would have to go through. We'll get into that later, but most importantly, like, seriously, who recommends this show to someone as a starter? Anime fans, weeaboos. Who recommends Evangelion as a first anime? You're wrong. I want you to know that. You are wrong. Like, let them watch, I don't know, the K-On! Or something like that. Like Yuru Camp or Nichijou. Something that, you know, kind of cleanses the palate before they get into the emotional trauma that is Eva. You don't start learning to eat hot sauce by starting with a Trinidad scorpion. That's not really how you do it, and it's also how you get massive diarrhea. Neon Genesis Evangelion is brought to us by Hideaki Anno, who is a great in the anime industry. He has exquisite direction and uses a lot of actual camera tricks for like real-world photography to portray different emotions and so let's say like fear and craziness and insanity in just the way he frames the actual photo of the animation that's on the screen. It's fantastic, and you'll see it a lot in this show. He also has a very distinct way of telling his stories. But enough about that, Baron. What the hell's this fucking show about? What's this boy doing? That boy is Shinji Ikari. Shinji Ikari returns to his dad's organization known as NERV, where you see all of this crap going on in the background. So yeah, Shinji's dad, Gendo, runs the entire organization that defends against all of this stuff. He is a butt. He is a very, very determined, very calculating, and cruel butt. Yeah, there he is. I hate you, Dad. Shinji is picked up by the best girl in the show. This is not debatable. She is literally the nicest person to him in this entire show. And she's not totally perfect, as you'll find out either, but hey, that's just the nature of the show in general. She takes him to NERV headquarters where we learn a bit more about the conflict at hand. Shinji learns that he has to pilot an Evangelion, which is a giant, like, humanoid robot that, they're there to defend against angels, like literally angels. The kaiju in this show are, best as I can describe it, every biblical and contemporary depiction of the heavenly goddamn host. There's one that's literally just covered in eyes. Yeah, and NERV fights them with giant fucking robots called Evangelions, or Eva. Eva is also acceptable. They are piloted by children on the cusp of adulthood because plot, and have mysterious origins as well because plot. I'm using it unironically in this sense because I really don't want to spoil you to what's going on here. Shinji is tasked with piloting Unit 1, the big purple one you just saw a minute ago. Later on in the series, he's joined by Asuka Langley Soryu, who pilots the other red one you see a lot in the ads and stuff too. Without spoiling or revealing too much, all I'll say is that the rest of this series is Shinji both dealing with and not dealing with the angels, his call to action, the history of Nerve, and the Evangelion, and his ability to act or own his inner traumas. So yeah, that's the reason I kind of did the intro the way I did. A recurring theme of EVA is trauma, and as I like to say it, the unyielding titanic pressure we place upon our children in society to perform, assimilate into adulthood, and how the many different exterior influences you can encounter can help and harm that process. That's just me though, and you'll find as you look up the vast array of anime content on YouTube, you'll find that everyone has a completely different take on why Shinji is or is not a little bitch and should just get in the fucking robot. That's pretty much the ongoing thing, is that Shinji refuses to get into this robot and his dad's a big ol' asshole about it. Now, content aside, what can I tell you? EVA's a permanent classic for a reason. The level of detail and direction poured into this show for being back from the early 90s is sublime. It's god tier. It will always hold up. There is a passion behind the art, and it does show. The animation is fluid, dynamic, soundtrack is bombastic, but, and there's a huge but here, I would say that the story is where you will find a crack in the exterior of this really nice show. It's not bad, but it is worth mentioning, and you'll see why. The story is dense, and by dense, I mean you gotta read a Wikipedia's worth of information just to make sense of the fucking ending. Nothing about the ending of this show makes sense on the first watch. Hell, there's stuff in the show that you just straight up don't know until you look it up later and you're like, oh, I guess that's where they showed it, whatever. Anyone who fully understands every facet of the show and its ending the first watch through is either A, a savant, or B, lying out of their hot, gassy ass. And that's why the end of Evangelion exists. It's a movie that was made later on that shows a different viewpoint of the ending of the show. It serves to help parse a lot of this a bit better, but I mean, a normal person will still look at it and go, what the fuck just happened? And again, you end up looking at Wikipedia and going, oh, that's what that meant. Or at least that's what I did the first time I watched it when I was like 12 years old. Does this mean that the show is bad? No. The movie? No, absolutely not. End of Evangelion's also a fucking amazing show. It's a piece of art in its own right. It's just a very complex story to kind of break down and digest as a new viewer. That's why when I hear people being recommended Evangelion as their first show, I'm slowly suffering from an aneurysm that keeps growing every time it happens. So in the end, yes, Evangelion is a great show that you should watch at some point. Just not the first anime you should totally sit down and watch. Get a few under your belt first and then check this one out. I'm BaronJ, I'm back, and I am so fucked up. So fucked up. Hey everybody, thanks for hanging around. It's been kind of a weird year, I think, for all of us, and kind of wanted to make something to bring myself back into the fold and then also kind of explain what's going on. I just kind of went straight up crazy for a bit. I was going stir crazy from the pandemic and everything that was going on, and I decided to try to reach out and make new, different kinds of content, and honestly, let's be frank, it didn't really work. I made some interesting stuff, but I need to do what I know, and what I know is weeaboo nonsense. And that is everything that I am and everything that I will continue to be. I think what I'm gonna do is my dollar supporters for the content dollar store stuff, I'm just gonna stream to YouTube, and those will be exclusive to the people that pay $1. And I'll do those like once or twice a month. That way there's a big long form portion of content that you guys can watch in the meantime when I'm not making videos. I'm gonna be coming back, gonna try to start making stuff at least once or twice every 2 weeks. No promises though. Kind of go to a video game donkeys kind of schedule where I just kind of make it whenever I want and make it when it's done. I think that's the big thing. I'm not gonna try to push anything out. I'm only gonna make stuff that I know I can make. All right, I think that's the long and short of it. I love you all. Thanks for waiting for me, and as always, thanks guys. Bye-bye. Oh, I guess I should like walk off stage or something. Goodbye. Goodbye.